Love! Welcome home to Eden. This is Eve Christoph, your Love Life Muse. And stick with me for the hottest news. Subscribe to this channel to get somewhere new. So let's get into visualization, okay? Really, the power of your visualization is quite amazing. So there's a couple things to really keep in mind before you begin, because once you really get on a roll with your visualizing capacities, you start to feel kind of all powerful, kind of like, whoa, I can really attract what I think about. I can create the life that I'm longing for by my focus on the positive, right? But before we begin this, it's really, really important to have a sense of cycles so that you don't start blaming yourself when your visualization is not working. It's important to first keep in mind the giant picture, the story that you're in. We are influenced by the weather. Like today, I wanted to be out doing my solar job and it's snowing so heavily out there, I couldn't even go down the street. Like, is your country at war? Like, is there a raging fire in California right now? There's all kinds of stories we're inside of. The human story of how greedy we've become, where we haven't allowed ourselves to just move off of fossil fuels. It's time, let's do it, our laziness. These are bigger stories, and we're all prone to have to deal with those realities. But within the story, the larger story, that you don't blame yourself for. Don't blame yourself for the times and the ways in which you cannot progress in your story as quickly as you would like to because of the larger story. But allow yourself within the story to be quite powerful, okay? So that you are resonating with your bliss. And remember that this time on the planet, we can see the disasters going on very quickly on our cell phones, on the computers. But this is actually a time in history where there is more peace on the planet, more people being fed, more people being housed, less wars going on, less violent crimes than there ever has been, especially when you realize how many people there are on the planet, how many more people than there were. So when we focus on the negative, we get in this downward spiral. But you can use your mind for the positive to start building and building and building more of what you want in your life. So the vivid technique I want you to be practicing daily and weekly is writing or envisioning in your mind exactly the thing that you're wanting so much. And just get detailed about it. Okay, so here's some examples. My mother was, for years, she donated time to a maximum security prison to lead a spirituality group for men to evolve who were trapped in there and were trying to grow as souls. And a lot of them actually were people who were in there for things that were just one of those mistakes you make that you could even say, I could have made that mistake, the way that black people are punished in a whole different way than white people had a big story to play in those guys trapped in that jail. But anyway, whether they're justified or unjustified sentences, what she noticed was that every time they came up for parole, they would sabotage their own parole by their fear, their anxiety, their behaviors that would undo their chance once again, and then for another 6 months or another 2 years, they'd have to wait for parole to come up again. So with one of the men in prison, she had him actually envision the paper stamped. Envision walking out the door. Envision your, the key is in the gate. It's swinging open. Envision your suitcase is packed and what's in the suitcase. Envision the smile on your face as you greet your freedom, Getting really detailed about the thing you want, is virtual about it, really, really helps you step into your future from where you are. Now another man, his problem was that every time he passed the guards, they would goad him in some way where he would start swearing at them and hissing and spitting about how pissed off they made him. And this undid his chance for parole over and over. And so my mom would say to them, this guy, okay, so imagine smiling at the guards. Imagine making jokes with them. Imagine nothing they say gets to you and asking them how they are. What we don't realize is the small behaviors in one setting amplify like a pebble in a pool. Those rings go out through the whole pool. So this guy, when he started being kind to the guards and considerate and asking them how they were and not offended by any of their probings, all the guards started to have a different opinion of him. All the write-ups were different about him. Now, this guy's also, what he really missed is that he had grown up on a farm, and within 2 months of doing these visualizations, my mom just said, just keep going back to the farm. Keep seeing the farm you were on as a kid. Well, he visualized himself out of maximum security prison into a minimum security prison that was on a farm. And he was back doing the chores within 2 months that he had missed so much growing up on the farm. So in any circumstance, anywhere, no matter where you are, no matter how impossible, the way you focus your mind has a huge impact on your reality unfolding. Now, the bigger story that we're in, a country that is racistly using African Americans in a new slave trade, that's a bigger story. We've all got to face it. We've all got to undo this. I have a dream that is completely dismantled in my lifespan. I do, don't you? Yes, and that there are jobs for people, and that whatever people are doing for drugs, it's equal treatment. It's not one thing for white people and another for people of color. It's a world where we don't even consider drug usage to be our crime that we're concerned with. We actually do treatment for people. I have a dream. I have a dream that this is all changed, that in our lifespan we go solar and we get off fossil fuel and we create global cooling, and that whole catastrophe of global warming just ends right there. We keep the polar caps. So this is me envisioning. See, I'm visioning on a bigger level. When you envision for your own life, always add in something for the bigger picture, for your whole team, for your whole company that you work for your whole family. Let yourself be that light that love shines through and pours through into blessing many in your prayers. But for yourself, keep it simple, keep it direct, and keep it specific, okay? What was another one she told me about? Athletes, when they are wounded,